Imagine being completely alone. No support, no encouragement, no one clapping for you, no one believing in your dreams, no one checking if you're okay. Just you and the silent battle inside your mind. Most people fear this situation. They think being alone means losing. They think success only comes when everyone supports you. But what if I told you that some of the greatest transformations happen in isolation? What if your loneliness is not a punishment, but a preparation? Because eagles do not fly with pigeons, they fly alone. And maybe that's why the eagle has always been a symbol of power, freedom, and greatness. It doesn't need a crowd to validate its journey. It doesn't wait for approval before taking flight. It rises above the storm, alone. And perhaps your life is asking you to do the same. There comes a moment in almost every person's life when they realize a painful truth. Not everyone will support your dreams. Some people will doubt you. Some will leave you. Some will disappear the moment life becomes difficult. And some will only believe in you after you succeed. That realization hurts, because deep down, we all want support. We all want someone to say, "I believe in you." We all want someone to stay. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes, your biggest battles must be fought in silence. Sometimes, your greatest growth happens behind closed doors. Sometimes, the journey to becoming extraordinary is incredibly lonely, and that's okay, because loneliness has a purpose. Think about the eagle. When storms arrive, most birds run away. They hide, they wait. But the eagle does something different. It spreads its wings and uses the storm to rise higher. The very thing that scares others becomes the thing that elevates it. Powerful, isn't it? Your struggles can do the same. The rejection can make you stronger. The loneliness can make you wiser. The pain can make you more resilient. The failures can teach you lessons that success never could, but only if you stop seeing your difficult season as the end. Because sometimes life isolates you to educate you. It removes distractions. It removes people. It removes comfort, until all that remains is you. And in that silence, you finally meet yourself. You discover who you are when nobody is watching. You discover what you truly want. You discover how strong you actually are. Most people never experience this because they are constantly surrounded by noise. They seek validation. They depend on others. They need constant reassurance. But mentally strong people learn one of the greatest lessons in life. You must become your own source of motivation. Because there will be days when nobody encourages you. There will be days when nobody understands your vision. There will be days when you feel like giving up. And in those moments, you need something stronger than external support. You need self-belief. The truth is, many successful people walked alone before they walked with crowds. Nobody notices the lonely mornings. Nobody sees the sleepless nights. Nobody sees the sacrifices. People only see the victory. But every victory has a hidden story. A story of discipline, a story of pain, a story of loneliness, a story of continuing when nobody cared. And that is what makes success meaningful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. There is a source of strength within you, but sometimes you can only find it when everything else disappears, when the friends leave, When the support fades, when the world becomes quiet, that is when you discover your true power, because dependence creates weakness, but solitude creates strength. This doesn't mean you should hate people or avoid relationships. It means you should never become dependent on others for your happiness, your confidence, or your purpose. Because people change, circumstances change, support comes and goes. But if you build yourself from within, you become unshakable. The eagle does not ask permission to fly. It does not wait for applause. It does not need approval. It simply rises, and you must learn to do the same. One of the biggest reasons people never achieve greatness is because they keep waiting. Waiting for motivation, waiting for support, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for someone to save them. But life rewards those who move forward despite uncertainty, those who continue despite fear, those who build themselves in silence because nobody is coming to rescue you. And strangely enough, that is empowering because it means your future is in your hands. Your growth is your responsibility. Your dreams are your responsibility. Your life is your responsibility. The moment you accept this truth, you become dangerous because you stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting. You start acting. You start building. You start transforming. And transformation often happens alone. The gym is lonely. Self-improvement is lonely. Discipline is lonely. Healing is lonely. Building your dreams is lonely. There will be nights when you question yourself. There will be mornings when you feel exhausted. There will be moments when nobody understands why you're working so hard. Keep going, because the eagle also spends time alone before it dominates the sky. Remember this: isolation is not always a sign that you're losing. Sometimes it is a sign that you're growing. Sometimes life separates you from certain people because your future requires a different version of you, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more disciplined version, and that version can only be created in solitude. There is something powerful about becoming the person who can sit alone and still feel complete, who can work in silence, who can suffer in silence, who can keep moving without recognition. Because once you master this, very little can stop you. You become independent, emotionally strong, mentally resilient. You no longer fear being alone. You no longer chase people. You no longer beg for attention. You become free, and freedom is power. The world often celebrates loud success, but it rarely talks about silent resilience. The man who keeps going despite heartbreak. The woman who continues despite rejection. The person who wakes up every day and fights battles nobody knows about. That is courage. That is strength. And that strength is built in lonely seasons. One day, people will admire your confidence. They will admire your discipline. They will admire your success. But they will never fully understand the price you paid. They will never see the tears, the doubts, the lonely nights, the sacrifices. Only you will know. Only you will remember what it took. And that is why your success will be real. Because it was earned. Because you kept going when nobody supported you. Because you believed in yourself when nobody else did. Because you continued climbing even when the mountain seemed impossible. Never underestimate the power of a person who has learned to walk alone. That person becomes fearless because they no longer depend on circumstances. They no longer depend on people. They know they can survive. They know they can rebuild. They know they can rise again. And that confidence changes everything. The eagle is powerful, not because it never faces storms. It is powerful because it uses storms to reach greater heights. Do the same. Use rejection as motivation. Use loneliness as self-discovery. Use pain as fuel. Use failure as education. Turn every difficult season into strength. Because one day, everything you're struggling with right now will make sense. One day, you will realize that the loneliness taught you independence. The pain taught you resilience. The failures taught you wisdom. And the silence taught you who you really are. Maybe you're in that season right now. Maybe you feel abandoned. Maybe you feel like nobody understands you. Maybe you feel like you're carrying everything alone. If so, remember this. Some journeys are meant to be walked alone, not because you are cursed, but because you are being prepared. Prepared for greater responsibilities, prepared for greater strength, prepared for greater success. The eagle spends time alone because its destiny is different, and maybe yours is too. So stop waiting for everyone to understand your vision. Stop waiting for support. Stop waiting for permission. Start now. Build now. Work now. Grow now. Even if nobody notices, even if nobody believes, even if nobody claps. Because the people who change their lives are often the ones who learned to continue in silence. The ones who kept going when it was lonely. The ones who refused to quit. The ones who became their own motivation. Remember this powerful truth. You do not need everyone. You only need courage. You only need discipline. You only need faith in yourself. Because one determined person with self-belief can achieve more than 1,000 people who constantly wait for validation. One day, all the lonely nights will be worth it. One day, all the sacrifices will make sense. One day, you will look back and thank yourself for not giving up. And when that day comes, you will realize something incredible. You were never alone. Every struggle was shaping you. Every hardship was strengthening you. Every silent moment was preparing you to fly. So rise like the eagle. Fly higher than your fears. Fly higher than people's opinions. Fly higher than your past. And if you must walk this path alone, then walk it proudly, because sometimes the people who win everything are the ones who had no help at all. They simply refused to stop flying.